Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today we're doing another episode of Toku Station. So, as you guys may or may not have noticed, I took a brief and also unscheduled hiatus, and like many brief and unscheduled hiatuses, it was good. It was interesting. I didn't plan for it to happen, obviously, but it did happen. Here we are, though. We are back. More reviews are going to be on the way this month. This month, by the way, being October, so some of them will be spookier, some will not. Also, some other videos on our TG Productions channel will be Tokusatsu related and spooky, and some will be spooky but not Tokusatsu related. So definitely subscribe to that to check that out. Now, what is on the docket today? So we have a lot of interesting stuff on the docket today. Going to put on my reading specs. We have some Super Sentai breaking news. We have some news regarding Power Rangers and some new updates for Battle for the Grid. Also, we have news surrounding Ultraman and some Blu-rays. And we even have not just Ultraman Blu-rays, but also other Ultraman projects coming out in English, which is really cool. We also have not much No Kamen Rider news this time, sadly, but we do have some Godzilla news about some really cool Blu-rays. And we will also be taking a look at some news regarding some drama around a Power Rangers convention, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Now, before we move on, before we talk about our first story, I want to mention that last episode, I want to find the exact video here. I talked about Mill Creek licensing a decent chunk of the Ultraman library. Now, I was speculating a little bit in that video, but thankfully I was corrected by someone who is a representative of Sci-Fi Japan, who's actually been working with Mill Creek, and they also post news related to different Tokusatsu stuff on their website as well. So, they posted a comment in that video, and I want to talk to you guys about it now. In the off chance that you don't see the comments in that video, I want to make sure that you guys know what is up with this. So, their comment is, "Hi Matt, I'm working with Mill Creek on these Blu-rays and would like to clear up questions and correct some mistakes in your video. First off, Mill Creek has not licensed every Ultraman show and movie. Rather, they have licensed everything available from Subadaya Productions at this time." So now this is very important. It might seem like a tomato thing, but it's actually very, very important to distinguish because it is what Subadaya is giving to the company. So it might seem like this is a lot of Ultraman, and it is seemingly a lot of Ultraman that they're going to be releasing in the US, but we do have to make sure that we, clarify, and it is a very, very distinct point, that it is based on what Subadaya has given them. So I notice some people will go, "Oh, okay, but but isn't that all of Ultraman?" It might not be, due to one reason or another. Perhaps Subadaya, and this is pure speculation now, which I always note when it's speculation. So it might be Subadaya thinks, "Oh, we don't have good enough masters," or "Oh, this won't sell because it's a clip show," or "Oh, we just don't want to put that out right now." Again, pure speculation, but it is very worth it to note that it is what Mill Creek is putting out, what Subadaya is letting them, quite frankly. So, either way, again, that's me extrapolating off of what has been said in this comment. So, going back to the comment down below, continuing on, yes, so they say that it's not everything ever made, Ultraman-wise. And then in parentheses, they put, "No Ultraman boy clip show, sorry." So, in the video, I actually talked about this Ultraman, because there's a bunch of Ultraman clip shows. I think it's definitely helped in Japan to keep different Ultraman shows in the public eye for younger audiences. And one of them was literally an Ultra boy. Like, he was just a little kid, and he would just tell you, like, "Wow, this fight was so cool with Ultra so-and-so," and then it would just cut to that fight. And I think he may have narrated them a little bit, but I'm not too sure. Either way, moving on. So it's not everything ever made, Ultraman-wise, but does include 25 plus series, 20 movies, and some straight-to-video titles. Secondly, Mill Creek is starting with the original Ultraman because it is by far the most famous of the series in America, and it has not received an official BD or DVD release here. Oh, that's interesting that they said official DVD release here, because that might be... that's interesting. That's interesting because, it did get an official release here through Mill Creek, I was under the impression. Either way, though, I'm not going to... The Blu-ray, I cannot dispute. Obviously, it has not got an official Blu-ray release here. That's interesting though. The DVD was also put there, but either way, I'm not gonna harp on that too much. What matters though is that so actually they go on to talk about Tiga, so I want to talk about that before I talk about any kind of speculation or anything like that. They go on to say that Tiga is a great series, but it doesn't have the same kind of interest here and wouldn't have made for a strong starting point for these Blu-rays. I want to disagree personally, but at the same time, it's comparing Tiga versus the show that started it all, Ultraman. I can't I can't disagree with that. Also, at the same time, and again, now we're jumping into pure speculation here. I am wondering if maybe Subadaya might not want to start with Tiga. Maybe they look at the market and they think, well, Tiga already had that short release with Funimation. I don't know if they were happy or unhappy with that release. I can't comment on that. But I do wonder if perhaps that it was just it was a general consensus between Subadaya and between Mill Creek that, yeah, let's just start off with Ultraman. And last time I talked about not just Ultraman getting a Blu-ray release and a Steelbook release, but Ultra Q and Ultra 7. So that is relevant to bring up as well. And moving on with the comment. And lastly, Mill Creek's reference to new shows means just that. ... The latest shows, the latest series rather, made and shown in Japan. So that one was extremely important to me because when I think I may have said something along the lines of like, what does that mean? And of course, it's very self-explanatory, but the reason why it means something and it means so much to me is because when it came to Ultraman, other than those Tiga releases and other than a few movies that got released, like the Ultraman, it's funny, I have them right on the shelf up there, that's why I'm looking. The Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Dyna movie, literally it was the same movie, and Dyna didn't get a standalone film. And Ultraman Gaia, the Battle for Hyperspace, both of those got US releases. I forgot which company it was. I can't get up to take it. But either way, though, those got releases. Ultraman Tiga, thankfully I have the whole thing on DVD. I had to get them secondhand. They were very expensive. Either way, though, those were all given releases. But when I think of Ultraman releases in the US, it really does feel like it's just been Ultraman, Ultra 7, and Ultra Q, and I'm referring to physical here, not streaming services and things like that. So because there actually are a decent chunk on Crunchyroll and a service on Amazon called Toku. So to be fair, there are streaming options, but when it comes to physical, hearing that we can actually get newer physical Ultraman in the US, that actually really excited me because I'm not gonna say that I never thought I'd see the day, but I didn't know how it would come about. I thought it was going to be streaming only for a long time. So yes, we are having the first three being released yet again, Ultraman, Ultra Q, and Ultra 7, but that again, it is very interesting to have it confirmed twice over now that we are getting newer shows in the US physical. Now, the last part of their comment, we'll be running more Ultraman news and updates on sci-fi-japan.com, so be sure to check in for more in the coming weeks. So either way, this was posted 2 months ago. I know we're a little late on this, but thank you so much for commenting, guys, from Sci-Fi Japan. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I do admit that, sometimes I jump from speculation to reporting fairly often throughout the time that we do these videos or these articles, stuff like that. So I do want to make sure that, it is just straight out there. I think some of the stuff they were addressing was speculation mostly, but either way, happy they cleared it up. Definitely was needed because, hey, you get it wrong, you get it wrong. We're all human, we all make mistakes. Either way, let's move on to the next story.